What is up, everyone? It's me. I'm still kicking. I've been in this bed for pretty much the last 3 weeks and really told to stay in the bed for the last week. I just wanted to do a video. I'm not sure how quick it'll be, but I needed to do a video to kind of catch everybody up and where I'm at. 3 weeks ago, I was doing some training in the parking lot of my son's high school where I've trained for years and, done these high-speed turns hundreds of times, getting ready for crit races, and I was getting ready for the Armed Forces Classic. I was going to run the Masters race with a couple of the guys I coach to help them out in that, and I went to make that left turn like I have so many times, hundreds, thousands, and in a split second, I was trying to figure out why my left pedal was on the ground when I was turning left. I was like, oh, and then I was over. My hands, both hands hit first, my hip point, then my scapula, and then my head, and then I was skidding, because I was in that turn at about 26 miles an hour. And so, as I was laying there, I was like, all right, let's get back up. And so I got back up. I went to walk forward with my left leg, and it did nothing. Immediately knew I may have a problem. I tried to walk again, and I was like, my leg's doing nothing. So I grabbed my bike, and I dragged it to the curb. Some people came over from the tennis courts and saw it. They thought two cars had collided. That's how loud it was. They asked me if I was okay, and I was like, I think so. And do you need help? And I'm like, no, my wife's coming. So I was just sitting there. I had a massive hematoma on my hip point already, so I thought I had a hip pointer, and that's why my leg just was at, hey, we're going to check out for a while. As I was sitting there, I looked at the rear wheel of my tire, and it had DB'd out away from where I was turning. And I thought that was interesting because that's only happened on my mountain bike when you're at low pressure. So essentially my road tire burped the opposite way I was turning, and I guess it caused me to slip and I lost control. I'm not sure why that happened. I've always run the same tire, the Continental GP 5000. I know I've had some issues with the rubber recently. But I've never seen a tire DB'd from the wheel like that ever. And so I was like, oh, God. So that kind of explained like why I lost control, because I have never crashed in training. And so, I guess I was in shock. I called the bike shop and I told him, and she was like, oh my God, did you get hit by a car? You sound bizarre. And I'm like, I'm not good, I don't think. So I just let her know, like, I don't know what happened. The tire, DB'd from the wheel, and I'm not sure what happened. And so my wife came and got me. I went to urgent care. They did x-rays and all that stuff. They didn't see any fractures. They gave me crutches. And so, as the week progressed, I started getting strength back to my leg. I actually started to be able to walk. I saw my doctor a sports ortho who scheduled the MRI, which was not until the next week. Because like I said, no one was focused on fractures. They thought I had a strained adductor, hip flexor growing, soft tissue stuff. I mean, I could bear weight, I could walk. There was, it's bizarre. I knew my shoulder was also bothering me, and I didn't bring it up yet because I was focused on, why is my leg not working, right? And so, I had road rash, contusions, hematomas. Like it was crazy. A bruise from knee to scapula. And so I get the MRI that Friday. The results posted on the Monday, and I was laying here and I was reading it. I immediately had a panic attack. Because right off the bat, minimally displaced comminuted fracture of the acetabulum. and then a hairline fracture into the pubic ramus. So I was like, oh my God. I Googled communitive because I've had a lot of fractures, and so, I get, it says a bunch of pieces, but when he showed me the fracture the next Tuesday, there was not a bunch of pieces, but you could see like the crack, right? But it's still a fracture. And I can walk, and my femur's not popping in and out of the socket, and the cartilage is 100% intact, no damage to the cartilage, the ligament, the holding everything there, and all that stuff. But he came in and said, you should have been in a level 1 trauma hospital. And I was like, so I had a panic attack, because he was like, you may need to go to surgery today. And Carla was in Nevada. I had my son with me. My daughter was here. And I was like, oh, I can't go to surgery today. There's no way. He's like, well, it's not. I was like, well, it is up to me, because I will. And so, because surgery like that, you don't want to be, I mean, that's, you don't go in there expecting that, because I had farmed the report out and everything seemed positive. Like, the cartilage is intact. You're going to heal. It's going to take a long time for you to heal, but you're going to heal. So, as I'm now totally because I do have PTSD, severe panic and anxiety. I've been very emotional the last 2 days because I went to my doctor the day before and they started to see like looks like there's a fracture in your shoulder. So I'm already charged. He comes in and says that. I have almost a nervous breakdown. And then they take me to x-rays and get good x-rays of my shoulder. I come back and he seemed to have calmed down a little bit. He called my knee surgeon, who I trust 100%. And he looked at the MRI, because it's in the same system, obviously. And he was kind of like, that doesn't look like surgery. So, where are we at? I have minimally displaced fracture of the acetabulum, that's considered unstable. I have a hairline fracture in my pubic ramus. I have a Hill's sac deformity, glenoid fracture / granular fracture in my left shoulder. And then I had damage to my adductor longus, hip flexor, growing, left glute. And so, could it have been worse? Yes. Could I have been killed? Yes. If I would have been closer to the curb and I would have landed over on that and hit from the side the curb like that with my head or whatever, I could have broken my neck. But that didn't happen. My focus now is to heal, and to do that without surgery. Do I feel deep down that I need surgery? No. But it's not up to me. It's up to the 3D CT on Tuesday that says how out of whack the socket is. And then it's up to the trauma surgeon on Monday, the 19th. He's the expert in this. Specifically, you have to have an expert for this because it happens so infrequently. It's like 4 out of 100,000 a year. He's a specialist in this. And we'll see what he says. He has to take into account what I do, and we'll figure it out. And then by that point, it's going to be 4 weeks. Like, what the hell? Like, what are we going to repair? Because even when I ask, like, if it's surgery, is it screws or replace? They're like, no. And I'm like, well, what the hell are y'all going to do? Go in there and inject some bone cement? Like, I don't know. So what I'm hoping is by the time they did the MRI 2 weeks ago, or just over a week ago, to Tuesday, that CT scan, because I'm sure I'm going to have to get periodic CTs anyways now to track healing like I did with my sacrum last year, shows healing is taking place. And maybe it's stabilized now. I'm trying to be positive. The sacrum fracture took a long time to heal. That was sort of considered unstable at the time. And they kept wanting to do surgery, and I kept pushing against it. I said, you're not putting a sacral screw. You're not doing that. This is a different story. So now I've damaged my pelvis on the other side. It's something that rarely happens. So I don't know. Can I walk? Yes. Do I know something's there? Yes. Could it have to do with the torn labrum? I don't know. I did have a torn labrum on the MRI in 2 places, one totally torn, and then a little bit of tear. Whether that happened in the crash or that happened at some point in my life, from running, who knows? Because I have had damage there before running a marathon when I tore my psoas. And so, who knows? There's a lot of stuff going on here. But I know as like the muscles have healed, I can definitely pinpoint like where there's the fracture. And that's what I started to pinpoint. And I knew I had a fracture, just like I told him my sacrum was fractured. Just like I told him I think there's a fracture in my shoulder, because I can feel it. And as the nerves have started to, I think, repair and reconnect, like I'm definitely getting nerve pain. My toes and my foot has been tingling again. That's the same thing that happened with my sacrum. Obviously, with the sacrum, there's a lot more nerves going in and out there. There's nerves down here too. I mean, it's not a fun area for that, but like, and so, for instance, I saw my doctor and no one thought fracture. I went to physical therapy 2 days later. I completed the whole hour, right? And I'm doing physical therapy. I'm riding a bike. I'm doing the exercises. I completed all of that. But I told him, I was like, hey, something's not right. My leg is numb in like my growing area. I was like, that's weird. And so he was like, I hope you don't have an acetabular fracture. And I'm like, I hope not either. And then it turned out I did. But that's how, I was able to do a full physical therapy session on my feet, walking, trunk twist, walking, trying to rebuild the connection to walking and all that. And I did all that. So I don't know. Does that mean I'm not going to have surgery? I don't know. In any case, I'm done for like 9 months. Whether I run again or not is a big question mark. I'm probably going to be in this bed for like 3 months, even without surgery, and keeping walking even with the one crutch to a minimum. And, my shoulder, I have it out of the sling right now anyways, but it's probably going to be in a sling for 6 weeks too. While the disformity heals. And that is as a result of my shoulder at some point popped in and out of the socket. And that's why you can get those. At some point, it popped in and out of the socket. I think it was out of the socket when I crashed, and then I was cooking in an air fryer a couple weeks later, and I burned myself, and I drew back real fast, and I heard a pop and a horrible pain. And I think they think that's when it popped back into the socket. So good God. And so everybody was like, what kind of pain tolerance do you have? You got a damn fractured acetabulum. You got your shoulder popped out. You're popping it back in. Like, who are you? Like, what is it? I was like, I don't know. I was like, but it's not like it feels good. But like, I'm functioning. So what's the plan? I'm eating a shit ton of protein. I'm getting all of I'm ensuring I get all like the bone healing vitamins and minerals. I'm taking choline, Hammer Nutrition Tissue Rejuvenator, definitely my multivitamins, all of the things that my body needs, because it's definitely in repair mode. My whoop has been almost single digit red since the accident. It's definitely in repair mode even now. My HRV is in the toilet, and that has a combination of doing with stress, and then also my body is trying to heal all of this damage. Like, it was a lot of damage, folks. And so my body is trying to heal. Do I feel particularly great right now? No, I haven't ridden a bike or done anything in 3 weeks, but that will come. And I think that's what's worse for me, is not being able to ride a bike. Running is what it is. But not being able to ride a bike kind of is the worst part of it. But that will come. Right now, I've just been, protein, water, no caffeine, because caffeine rids your body, or, kind of robs your body of calcium. And so I've been really just focused on, giving my body everything it needs in a surplus. I've been eating in a surplus. So I feel yucky. But that's what needs to happen to heal my body from this trauma, because it was a massive trauma. And so, I've had these emotional ups and downs because of my disorder. I could very well have gone back down in the pit of despair like I was last year when I got injured and had COVID and all went to hell for 7 months. And that's not going to happen again. I have 9 months to come back. And it's going to take all of those 9 months, because there's going to be at least 4 months of physical therapy for my left shoulder. Who knows how much for my left leg now. Who knows? Who knows if I'll run again? But I'm fully committed to coming back and competing in aquabike. And so if I have to compete, I'll compete in that. It's still competing, and I can still do it at a high level. I had a friend of mine who was like, well, you have to swim now. And I'm like, yes, I can swim. I'll have to swim. So what? I'll just swim. I'll swim as much as I was running. And so, training for me, it doesn't matter if it's running, if it's swimming, or if it's cycling, or if it's strength training. It doesn't matter. I'll fit it in the program, and I'll be just as good at that as I was at whatever the other thing that I can't do anymore. That's just my mentality. I was an elite athlete. I still have that mindset. And that's what we're going to do going forward. And now, if there's like, well, you can't swim either, then I'll go back to racing my bike on the road. I will race again in some capacity, because I'm not done doing that. It's certainly not going to end in a high school parking lot. I'm not of my own control, right? That's the mentality. I have 2 legs. I will heal, and I will get back. It's going to take a long time, but I will get back. And, right now my focus is coaching, building all new workouts, growing my business, because I'm just not going to sit idle for 9 months and wait for my body to heal. There's things to do. We have stuff to do. I have all these athletes to coach who depend on me. And right now, whether they know it or not, I need them probably more than they need me, to stay level, because it's been very hard. I'm trying to keep my emotions in control, even talking about all this right now. But I just wanted to come on here and give an update. There are going to be YouTubes going forward. I do have to do the YouTube on hydration. I have a YouTube on the mental side of being an athlete. I have all these YouTubes, so make sure you follow my YouTube channel. The link is in my bio. And just watch what happens in the next year. Because like I did last year, I think I'm going to surprise a lot of people, and I think I'm going to surprise some people and be on a start line that they don't expect me at. And I'm fully committed to doing that. I'm going to take it slow. My body needs to heal, but just stay tuned, because I'm not done just yet. The last 2 years have been challenging, but challenge breeds strength, and damn it, I should be pretty damn strong after everything that's happened in the last year and a half. So stay tuned. Make sure you like and follow this video. Drop any comments if you've had to deal with this before yourself and how you dealt with it. And, I'll be seeing you. Out.